There's just something so haunting about Eren's sad chuckle to Sasha's death within this episode. It really is telling that how far Eren is gone and just how deep into madness he really is at this point within the story. Because we have seen him do some despicable things these past few episodes. He has done stuff that I think anyone that started Attack on Titan and like watched the first season, if they were to like somehow skip to this season and see Eren, they would be like, is this really the same person? How is he doing these things and being fine with it? Seeing how far Eren has gone to just keep moving forward and save the audience, or at least save paradise, it's crazy. He really does have that tenacity and in a lot of ways the will of Erwin from previous seasons when you just look at what he does, but it's even more extreme than Erwin ever was when you actually look at what happened throughout this episode and the previous episodes. But I want to talk about Eren's chuckle for a second, because I think this is something that many might not truly grasp on the true message here. Throughout the entirety of these past few episodes, since we have found out that Eren and this old guy is actually Eren, we have seen this, Eren show no emotion. He has been very hollowed. He doesn't look like he really cares about anything around him. He really does, lack everything. It doesn't really seem like anything bugs him anymore. His whole conversation with Reiner was very telling to that, showing that he no longer is seeking vengeance against Reiner to get rid of him. He's like, Reiner, me and you are the same. We both go through things, and, we both have the things we fight for. We got to keep moving forward. But Eren, deep down, he didn't hold anything against Reiner. That was a big moment just to show that Eren has kind of detached himself from everything he once was, and you can see that he's just very emotionless. He doesn't really express a lot of things anymore, even for causing so much death around him, innocent people that did not deserve everything that happened in these past few episodes. He did the very thing that Reiner did to him, his hometown, his family, everyone. That's what Eren has caused, and maybe even a little bit more damage than that. And seeing how disconnected he's been has just been very shocking and scary, because it's been kind of like a complete 180 of the story, because we've always seen the story from, Eren's, group being attacked. They're always getting attacked. They're always the ones, falling back, backed up against the corner. They're all about to die. They're always at the last, stages before they're completely wiped out. But this is the first time within the story we have seen, Eren's group really push the other side back to the point where they're up against the wall, fleeing for their lives. And Eren didn't need to go as far as he did. Basically, after everything that happened, diplomacy is just no longer an option, and I will get more into that in this video. But to get back into the actual laugh, what makes that laugh so jarring is because it's actually the first time we've seen emotion from Eren since Season 4 started. It really is. When you really take a step back and think about it, that is the first emotion we've heard. Eren having a chuckle to Sasha's death. And I know many might think, oh, he's laughing at her death, but that's actually not the case. There is a lot of people that express emotion in a way that is not like what you would normally expect. Example, when you think of someone's death, if you care about them, obviously crying is the first emotion you think about. Being sad, mournful, and guilt, etc. You just have this depressed look on your face. But Eren, his first emotion was just a straight up laugh. And many might say, oh my god, this man is laughing at her death, like what is wrong with you? But that's actually not the case. Eren is just so sad. He's so upset that he laughed. And this is not the first time that Eren has actually done this within the story. He's done this with Hannes in, previous seasons. When his father figure basically died in front of him and he was responsible for it, he chuckled at his death. And it was a very sad chuckle. And this is kind of like a nod to that. Sasha's death is a nod to that death that was very impactful to Eren's character in a very critical moment. So I think it's very interesting to just see the insight to Eren's character, that he isn't fully emotionless, but you could see that, once again, he is still very detached than he once was, like from what we saw from him in the previous seasons. But let's get into Sasha. There has been a lot of trending today for Attack on Titan. It is literally all over social media. Like, you'll see Sasha trending, Eren trending, Attack on Titan trending. You'll see, just the episode trending. You see basically everything affiliated with Attack on Titan trending, Falco trending, and for good reason. This is one of the pinnacle episodes of Season 4, and I think that Studio Mappa, at this point, they hit a home run. They legitimately hit a home run with this episode by really carrying the weight of Sasha's death. It was a moment that many were looking forward to, not because they just wanted to see Sasha die, but because it's such an impactful moment, just to show the repercussions of Eren's decisions, what he has done, what he caused within the series. It had consequences, and it's a moment that could have easily have been ruined, thanks to how it was handled in the anime. But clearly, Mappa held true to what they've been doing in previous episodes, and they did a stunning episode of Attack on Titan. I dare say it is the equivalent of the Erwin episode in its own way, with Erwin's charge, saying Suzume and charging in and dying for everyone. This is kind of, in its own way, in a similar vein as that episode, in terms of just the emotion and weight it actually carries, because you have an episode that has multiple nods showcasing Sasha, that there's something ominous going on. Like, if you go back and watch the episode, you'll see Sasha having the camera pointed at her multiple times in certain scenes, and there's, some obvious things that's off about it, and then when you actually see the death happen, it's like, wow, they really were nodding that something bad was about to happen to her, and then, it happens, and how she dies is something that's just so sad, because she doesn't have any valiant last words. She doesn't say these amazing words that inspire you like Erwin was. How Erwin's charge, or, we must die for those that, we leave behind and they can continue our legacy. You have it to where, Sasha didn't have that. The only thing she said at her final moments, she didn't say, I love you guys, goodbye everyone. She said, meat. I want to eat food, etc. Where's the food? And it's a very Sasha-like moment. It's really intertwined with her very character. She's always been affiliated with food, but it's much more than that. She always, even though she loved food, she did want to create new farmland, and we even see, Eren himself, remember that. She wanted to create, farmland for people to have as much food as they wanted, to be able to actually not have to go hungry and starve, because that was a fundamental problem within the walls after the first wall fell. So it's just interesting to see that callback, that even though she looked like she was greedy in those final moments like meat, out of it, if you didn't understand her character, if you do understand her, you knew it was actually out of kindness, and it's so sad that was her actual final moments, and she died like that. She didn't have a valiant death. She didn't rush in there and die, take down a Titan with her. That was not the case. It's sad. It's an incredibly sad moment of this episode, and probably the entirety of the series, because Sasha's a character that's been with us since the first season. Since episode 3 of Attack on Titan, we have known Sasha, and now she is gone. Potato Girl, this character that has been intertwined with the fandom with so many memes and funniness and just laughs and great moments, is gone. So it's just, I cried watching this episode of Attack on Titan. It was incredible, and I cried. I knew what was going to happen this episode. I was fully prepared and ready to get hurt by this episode, but I still got hurt, and it really hurt, just seeing Sasha's death with the music and everything. Oh my god, it was painful episode. But let's talk about Eren's actions. So Eren, he clearly forced all of the people within the walls on Paradise Island's hand, because Levi makes it very clear that everyone a part of this operation was not on Eren's side. Example, the only reason why they came to fight, the Marlins and all that, and they were there to assist Eren, was to get him out of there, because basically he was a hostage, and he was deep in enemy lines, and they cannot afford, the enemy to capture Eren and gain the Attack Titan and the Founding Titan. It was just too dangerous. So because of that reason alone, they had to charge in regardless of whatever diplomacy or whatever they potentially were doing behind the scenes, or what they were trying to do, whatever plans they were working on. It got thrown out the window to save Eren, because fundamentally, when you look at everything that's happened in the previous seasons, when Eren gets captured, many people will die to save him, because their lives are theoretically expendable in comparison to Eren, because of just how vital he really is to the entirety of the endgame for Paradise's Island. So when you see Levi remind Eren, it's yeah, we had to come in. We had to save you. Of course we would. We had to. We have to save you. But because of you having trust in us to come, we lost trust in you. It basically lets us know that nobody, not even Eren's closest friends. Mikasa, Armin, no one. John, Levi, none of them are on Eren's side for what just happened. They only went in because he needed to be saved. If it wasn't for that, they wouldn't have went in. So it's interesting to see that nobody was on Eren's side in terms of wanting to come in here, but Eren forced her hand. And it explains a lot about Armin's, I guess, look on everything when he turned into the Colossal Titan, and how hollowed he looked when he just did everything he did on the coast, when he wiped out the entire, fleet, the Navy fleet and everything. You can now see just why Armin looked like he did. It's because he didn't want to do that. He didn't agree to that. He was just forced to do that thanks to Eren forcing his hand. It's just incredibly sad. And then on top of it, you gotta imagine, the Beast Titan working with, our group of characters, and how Levi feels about that, how a lot of people feel, because the Beast Titan, he's basically an enemy. Zeke is an enemy that has continuously caused so much harm to so many characters, and Levi especially has such a vendetta against Zeke, and it was once again even reinstated within this episode. So seeing how he's actually a part of the group, it makes you wonder if he really did become a turncoat. Obviously many people probably don't agree with that as well, because Levi seemed very angry, very upset with just Zeke being a part of the whole operation to begin with. So there's just so much to really consider and look at from this episode, and it's, interesting to see that the Beast Titan is now on our character's side, because it's scary. It's like a brother combo out of hell. You have, a sociopath that is Eren, and then you have Zeke that's the strategist that knows how to play really well with rocks. And so, yeah, it's kind of frightening to think about how much damage they actually can cause. But, yeah, it's a good episode of Attack on Titan. I think everybody can agree. It was fantastic. And diplomacy as well is something I need to talk about now before I wrap up this video, though. So, obviously with Eren now attacking everyone, and causing, Levi and everyone to come onto the, the mainland and attack everybody, diplomacy is not going to happen now. If there was any form or room for diplomacy between the two different nations, it's not going to happen now. There's just too much bad blood in present day for there to actually be any form of communication with both sides. It's not possible now. Eren has effectively burnt that entire bridge down to the very ground. There is nothing left. Not even the support beams are even left at this point. And so Eren has officially caused it to where war is the only option. Which, speaking of war and all that, I know many are probably going to be extremely, extremely angry with Gabby. And I'm just going to say a few things. Gabby, once again, has been kind of showcased as the equivalent of Eren on the Marlin side. So just take that into consideration before you really start hammering her into the ground. She is effectively Eren, but before Eren became what Eren is now. That's basically what Gabby is. Gabby is just someone that is fueled by revenge and anger, very similar to how Eren was. He was fueled by anger and revenge because he wanted to get rid of all the Titans and what they did, and eventually his target shifted over to the Marlians after finding out what Reiner and Bert did. So when you really think about it, Gabby is basically Eren. That's exactly what she is. So just think about that before you really start hating on her and for what she did to Sasha. It sucks, but that's just the big point that you need to look at. Because, honestly, when we think about it, Eren going in and probably taking out someone very important for the Marlin side, it could have a similar effect, someone that they've known since the very beginning. Both sides are very similar on what they're actually going through. But I'll leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.